what is it about men? What is it about men? My I feel much more comfortable around women, more and more so. Less and less so around men. Yesterday I was with a gentleman that I met with him, and he's very dominant, not sexual or anything like that, it was work. And this guy was really dominant and physically, and also I don't know, like, you know, very clever, very wise, very funny, very, and I don't know what it is, but more and more so around these types of men, these dominant men, I just cannot, I literally fall apart. I literally fall apart. My voice starts to shake. Nothing feels me. You know, I'm not me when I'm around these men. More like, there's lots of dominant men out there, and I hate it. I hate it, and I feel I've got to prove myself to them. The last week I was at an event, and by accident, complete accident, I sat on someone's coat. I was sitting down. It was like a bench, and this guy came and sat next to me on my left, and so I shuffled along to make room for him, and I ended up sitting on this guy's coat. I didn't realise I ended up sitting on this guy's coat, and the guy eventually came along and he was like, "You're sitting on my coat," and you know, I was really sorry, and he was like, "My glasses are in there," and his glasses were fine. They were not damaged, but I felt so awful, and I made a point then later of going to, like, really profusely apologise, and cringe, just so cringe. I mean, it was genuine, my apology, but I became like that big, and he was like, and I tried to make conversation, and he wouldn't engage with me, and then the rest of this event just, wow, I just kept looking at him and being like, why, what is your problem with me? And I feel like most men have got a problem with me. I do actually, for the moment. I do. Ugh. I feel like I want to just stop talking to, not all men, but there's real alpha males. I'm not myself. I'm not myself around them. And the really stupid thing is that I always seem to be attracted to those types of men. The men that, they're not right for me. And it's stupid. It's stupid. And yet, you know, I feel like I mean, you know, this is just a group of men, these strong, dominant alpha males. I know some beautiful men. I mean, really, you know. But ask me which I'd rather go for in terms of attractiveness. It would be the the men that I know are not going to treat me well, and that are just not really compatible for me. I know it's got something to do with the men I've been close to in my life, and I've never really analysed it properly, but I know, you know, I've had some. I don't want to make myself into a victim, or say, you know, I've been really unlucky, but maybe that's where I'm going wrong. So this is like a dilemma. So, you know, I've had, you know, guys that I've been with have treated me a bit shit. But then I always forgive them and I always kind of let it go. And I see other people that hold on to this resentment and should I be more like that and actually be like, no, you know what, you treated me like shit. I mean, initially I am, you know, like, but then I'm like, oh, I must be me. I'm in the wrong. It's me, 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 me. I'm the bad person. I'm the weak link. I'm the wrong one. I mean, maybe I should be more like, yeah, like you're a bastard. And when I look back at the way guys have, I'm gonna take it. You know, it's This year's just been ridiculous in terms of guys just treating me like, okay, now I'm getting into that mode, but really treating me like shit. I don't want to go on about this. I said it before. You know, how can you be with someone one day and then completely change yourself the next? You know, and not communicate it. Just you know, be open-hearted one day and say all these nice things and treat you so well, and then the next day, like, close your heart and just treat someone like a piece of shit. How can you do that? How can someone do that? But, you know, all the guys that I've been with are like that. And I'm not saying that's all men in general, but I'm sick of it. And it's really like, this is why I think what do you do? What do you do? Do you have this problem with men or with women? Or with dominant people in general? I hate it. I'm sick of it. I mean, my voice shakes. It shakes. I just don't want to talk. And yet I feel I have to prove myself, or I have to get that one to like me, because that one out of everyone, that dominant man, why? It goes back to school. I went to an all-boys school for primary school. I just never fitted in. I never fitted in. You know, when all the guys are in the playgrounds, they'd want to play like cops and robbers, and I'd be like, can I be the female one? Or I always wanted to play mummies and daddies, and I'd be the mummy. I was very effeminate. I was very camp and flamboyant when I was growing up. I loved earrings, and I used to go around like, when I was a kid, I was so different. I used to prance around, and I was dressed up, and whenever I went to family functions, and people encouraged me, they loved it, I was a performer. And then this all boys school, I changed. I wasn't like this primary school, this boys school was very sporty, and I was not sporty. I was always picked last for the teams. No one wanted me on their team. I used to spend a lot of time on my own in the library, reading books about Queen Elizabeth I. I never fitted in, and I always felt very different. And my secondary school was mixed, boys and girls, and I found it difficult, but it was a different energy, and fucking hell. But the boys, you know, they didn't tease me, but I used to sit like this. Can you see? I used to sit like this. And then one day at school, I'll never forget, one of the boys, I think we were in French class, and one of the boys turned to me and he said, "Why do you always sit like that?" I was like, "What?" He was like, "You're such a girl." And I was like, And that was the last time I ever sat cross-legged. I mean, I do it now, but I was so conscious of it for a long time. And one of the boys said, you know, how do you look at your nails? And I looked at my nails like that. And he's like, oh, you're such a girl, you're not a guy. Guys look at nails like that, you know. All of these things, you know, I was so influenced by. And I was so, man. I don't think we should have boys, girls schools. I feel like I'm a bit hyped when I'm talking shit today, but one thing I've decided, I don't want a relationship anymore. I don't need a relationship anymore, and that's quite liberating. I'm 29 now. Most of my 20s has been spent desperately trying to falling asleep to me being in a relationship. That's my dream, and gonna get married, and nah. Going back to Queen Elizabeth I, you know, this Virgin Queen, and she never got married. It's just too painful, and it just feels too impossible. And there's that Carpenter song, Goodbye to Love. That's my song, that's my jam. Goodbye to Love. It really is. I need some silence, some peace. I feel like my vlogs are just verbal diarrhea at the moment. I need some. But hey, like, you know, I don't know what to do in terms of these. I just don't want to talk to them anymore. I'm sick of it. It's not a conscious thing. It's like I can't help but be this weak, passive thing when I talk to them. I don't want to do it anymore. So if you've got any experience or thoughts, or please. And thank you.